All right, so now let's talk about income and expenses. This is a very important concept, and I'm going to switch over to my iPad. So, yeah, we're talking about managing money. There are two very important concepts called income and expenses. And you may already know what these are, but at a high level, and for the purpose of this course, why don't we focus on monthly? Okay, so let's look at our monthly income and let's look at our monthly expenses. All right, monthly income. I mean, this is very easy. The work that you do, maybe you have a full-time job. Those are usually called W-2 income in the US. But basically, any type of income that you make, this is where you list, right? So maybe you'll have a job, so you make money from there. Maybe you get some money from some of the stocks that you own in the form of dividends, where if you own certain stocks each quarter or each year, the company may give you dividends based on the number of shares you have. It may be rental properties you have, and where every month they give you some money. Most of the people, when they're starting out, they just make money from their full-time job, and that's okay, right? You can total some of this, and that will give you your total monthly income. Monthly expense, same thing. This is where if you want to manage your money well, it's a good idea to be able to track your expenses. Anything that doesn't get tracked or measured doesn't get managed. So one of the things you have to do if you want to manage money is by managing your expenses. And a good starting point is you can write it down. I mean, if you use credit card, it's easy because credit card would have all the expenses written down and you can easily track it. But you can, have some of the large expenses listed. For example, you can have mortgage. If you own a house and you're paying the bank certain amount each month, you can put the mortgage. Car payment, maybe you don't have the car owned, but you're paying the bank some money each month for the car. And then what are some typical expenses? Maybe insurances, you're paying some money. Food, right? Education, maybe you have some kids or you're paying for your own education. So each of this is going to have a monthly expense, and there are some other points. So you don't want to make this too complicated. You can group some of the expenses and then you will come up with a total expense. Okay. Now, if you haven't managed your money that well, you'll find that your monthly income will be pretty similar to your monthly expense as things pile up. So that's something that you must keep an eye. But maybe tip number one at this point is one of the first way to manage your money is to manage your expenses and to lower your monthly expenses. And one of the key tip I would provide to my family and friends is avoid debt as much as possible. Even car, maybe don't buy a brand new car, maybe buy a used car. Maybe the house, don't move into a really, really nice home yet. Get home where you can pay off the mortgage really fast. Keep an eye on how often you go to restaurants, to watch out for the food costs. Live on a budget. If you kind of cap how much you're going to spend on certain item, and if you track it, you're more likely to achieve that goal. So number one, lower your monthly expense, because that difference between your total monthly income and total expense is basically the amount of freedom you will have. So if your monthly expense is, let's say, $5,000, and your total total income is 5,000 and your total monthly expense is 3,000, that $2,000, right, is really the amount of freedom that you can have with your money. And that freedom can buy you a lot of time. If your monthly expense is very close to the monthly income, it's a rat race. You're going to have to work every single month just to feed yourself as well as feed your family.